I want to ask you a question. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Am I alone? Am I the only one going through this in trucking? I know this is a question we all have asked ourselves at a certain point in this industry. And what usually triggers that particular question is when you experience a string of unfortunate circumstances that cost you money. I am going to tell you that circumstance that did it for me back in 2020. Hey y'all, so today I want to ask you a question. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Am I alone? Am I the only one going through this in trucking? I know this is a question we all have asked ourselves at a certain point in this industry. And what usually triggers that particular question is when you experience a string of unfortunate circumstances that cost you money. I am going to tell you that circumstance that did it for me back in 2020. So before I start, let me get my prayer in. Dear Lord, thank you for giving me the wisdom to be able to create this content. And I pray that this content is pleasing to you so that it will serve the people who it's meant to serve. Lord, I just ask that you guard my tongue so that every word that rolls off my tongue is pleasing to you and will serve the viewers in a way that it will allow them to have that awareness that will transform their day or their journey. Maybe there's someone today that asked themselves that question last night, yesterday, or today, or before they clicked that thumbnail. And I pray, Lord, that you use this video as a answer to that question. And I just ask you, Lord, that even if someone's watching this and it's not meant for them to watch the whole thing, it's just meant for them to hear a certain minute mark or a certain sentence in this video that's meant for them to hear so that they can go to that next level, then Lord, I thank you in advance. I thank you for each and every eye that's sitting on this episode today. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Let's get to it. So, first, I'm going to give you some examples that can trigger that question. Here's a couple. You just spent so much money to fix your truck, and after you pay the bill, it's still not fixed. So you're missing out on more potential loads, and now you're losing more money because you thought you fixed your truck and paid what was diagnosed, and you're still back in square one. Or another example is where you're at the truck stop to get fuel, and someone backs into your truck, and now you can't deliver your load because your truck is messed up. Then you have to let the broker know that the load is going to be late, or they need to get it repowered. And now the broker is upset with you. They might hit you with a freight guard or put you on a do not use list for that broker. Another example is you go to the shipper to get unloaded, and when they use the forklift to unload your truck, they put a hole in your trailer floor. Now you have to shut down for the rest of the week, lose out on all that potential revenue you plan to make, and then you have to spend money to fix your trailer. Another example. You go to the truck stop, go in to go grab some food or use the bathroom, and when you come back, you see that someone hit your truck and did a hit and run. I could go on, because every example I just said was all personal experiences. And I'm going to share a situation that triggered me to ask myself that question. Am I alone? Am I the only person experiencing this random money-losing string of events that is almost pushing me out of trucking? So back in 2019, back in 2020, I had a driver named Eric, and Eric was such a great person. He weathered a lot of storms with me when I was still in my journey of trucking and going through my trucking growing pains. So I had just got his truck fixed, and I spent my last dollars to get his truck back on the road. Here's one thing everyone in trucking says to themselves at a certain point in their journey. And we say this to ourselves when we spend our last dollars to fix a truck. This is what we say to ourselves. It's going to be okay because I'm going to make the money back on the next load. That one statement will influence you to overdraft your bank account or max out your credit card with confidence because you tell yourself that the money is going to come right back on the next load. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I said that statement. But nevertheless, that's what I did to fix his truck. And guess what? On the second day, the money was slowly coming back until the third day of the week. I get a phone call at 3 a.m. and I'm sleeping. But when your trucks are on the road and you sleep, but you're not really sleeping because you're always on the alert for that phone call that might be that's going to come in regards to a truck issue. So you get real sleep when your truck is parked and your drivers are home. That's how it was for me, at least in my first years in trucking before everything became systemized like it is today. So nevertheless, I quickly answer the phone and Eric tells me, Andrew, I just hit a deer on the back roads in Ohio. Now remember, I was sleeping and woke up to answer his call. But when I heard those words, I was convinced I was dreaming because that was the last phone call I would ever expect to get. Because up to that point in my trucking journey, I was still naive to the level of randomness that occurs in this industry. And I genuinely thought I was dreaming. So guess what I did? I fell back asleep. And you know how back in the day, Michael Jackson fans would pass out due to just pure shock? I think that's what happened to me because I had so many string of unfortunate events up to that point. When I heard him say that the truck just hit a deer, I passed out due to shock, just like a Michael Jackson fan back in the 80s. So, but, yeah, whew. I get goosebumps just thinking about that moment. So, but Eric yells on the phone, Andrew, wake up, wake up. So I rub my eyes, I get up, I said, all right, and I realized, okay, this is real. Now I have to go into that problem solving mode, right? So first things first, make sure your driver is okay. So Eric, you okay? Yeah, everything's okay. All right, then I need to gauge the level of truck damages. After that, then I need to figure out what am I going to do because I just spent my last dollars to get his truck back on the road. And I haven't even recouped the money back from the previous truck issue. And now I have another truck issue that I don't have the money for because it's wrapped up in truckloads. And I know I can't go to the dealer because if that truck goes to the dealer, I will lose that truck because some dealer repair fees can put you out of business because the bill is always so high at the dealerships. Or you have to go more in debt to get a loan so you can cover the dealer repair bill. So I knew my options were slim, and I'm going to tell you what I did. I used to utilize this website called findtruckservice.com. That's what I would utilize to find mom and pop towing and repair companies when my trucks were over the road and regional. Because repairs that the dealer would have charged me thousands for, you will find some genuine local mom and pop diesel techs in towns that will save you thousands of dollars. And that was my saving grace. I found a small mom and pop towing company that also had their own repair shop. And I told them my situation. And they agreed to tow my truck and take it to their yard. And my driver had sent me photos of the truck damages. And when I saw the photos of that truck, I started crying because the truck looked like it was over. It looked total. And I thought it was over for me. And I only had one other operating truck at the time. But when the tech came to tow my truck, he said these exact words. This is an easy fix. Yo, yo, I was so confused, and it took me years to really understand why he said that.
Do you want to shift careers? Are you thinking of entering the trucking industry and want to know how to start your own company? We invite you to enroll in the Fleet Mastery Blueprint training. This training serves as a guiding light for beginners who want to break into the trucking industry and for those already involved who want to take their operations to the next level. Using insider secrets applied by highly successful multi-million-dollar trucking enterprises. Our approach goes beyond mere theory. It offers an inside look into the inner workings of a thriving business. This training presents you with a clear and well-defined path derived from real-life experiences, ready to guide you right from the beginning. Whether it be understanding the fundamental aspects of starting your trucking company or implementing strategies for growth, this training will be your trusted companion on the journey to financial success. Learning is an exhilarating adventure, and if you want to ignite your ambitions, our doors are wide open. Come aboard, register today, and start your journey of success in the trucking industry.
You see, when you're new to trucking, like I was at that time and up to that point, you don't have the stomach developed to be able to properly gauge certain truck damages. So to the naked lens, in the novice lens, certain damages look bigger than what they actually are. And I experienced so many truck incidents, and also with having my own repair shop, my stomach now is developed in a way to where I can gauge certain damages that may seem catastrophic to amateur lens, but to me, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's an easy fix. But nevertheless, the tech brought his son to my truck. Well, he came with his son, and they took my driver to a hotel, and the tech and his son fixed my truck. They repaired my radiator, my charge air cooler, and my grill, all for $2,000. And the money the truck made those 2 days is what I was able to use to pay for the unexpected deer hit. And I was able to keep on trucking. And in all situations I experienced, it seems like God always gave me exactly what I needed so I could make it to the next week. And it was hard. And when I would make it out these situations where I would be so close to the edge on being kicked out of trucking, I would go in my closet and ask myself, am I alone? Am I the only one going through this in trucking? Like, God, do you even hear me? Because I don't hear nothing back. And just a lot of questions. And when I would go on the internet, everyone is portraying to make millions in trucking, or trucking can be automated, or scaling of trucking is easy. And when I would see that stuff, I'll go back and ask God, like, God, what am I doing wrong? How is everyone making all this money in trucking and having all this fancy lifestyles with truck money? Like, what am I doing wrong, God? Like, cause my bank account keep going down. Like, what am I doing wrong? But over time, I was able to see through the smoke and mirrors and understand that I wasn't alone. I wasn't going through all these unfortunate events for no reason. Instead, I was growing through all these unfortunate events for a season and for a reason. And that reason was to let you know you're not alone. I understand what you're going through and what you're trying to deal through. Maybe someone asked themselves those questions this week, this month, today, or last night before you fell asleep. And if so, this episode is for you. The Lord's blessings don't come with sorrows. That truck that you have is a blessing and also an answered prayer to someone's prayer. There is someone right now praying to operate your truck, and they need you to push through. There's a customer right now praying for a reliable, dedicated truck to run their routes, and they need you to push through. In 2018, I didn't know all the customers and drivers that needed me to push through so they can utilize my services in 2024. My services was an answered prayer, not only to me, but also to them. And my prayer for you is to ask the Lord to give you the strength and the awareness to push through so your truck can be used as an answer to as many prayers as it can serve. And that's all I have for you today. Keep on trucking. Don't quit. Thank y'all for tuning in. I pray that this episode blessed you. And keep on trucking. Keep on trucking.